Hey guys, I was just reading the news earlier, and there's this really good article in the West Virginia Record. That's a legal newspaper in the state of West Virginia about planning and zoning and arbitrary and capricious rules, and it kind of explains why I raised the concern about the shadow committees that the disgraced former mayor created in order to assist with plans for the city. Okay, this article published today was called Court Order Halts Rezoning Vote by Putnam County Commission. And basically, what happened was there was land that was in the comprehensive, described in the comprehensive plan as being a residential area, and the zoning was single family homes or duplexes. And the property owner said, I want to put businesses in here. And apparently the county commission, like most government bodies, would be like, yeah, we want the business. Yeah, you got it. And the neighbor sued and stopped it. And the ruling said approval of the zoning request would be arbitrary, capricious, and abuse of power, and clearly wrong. And the reason this was there was no public input. Um, there's two things that the courts have decided about 100 years ago, between 1917 and 1926, about planning and zoning. And it tries to balance two interests. One is the interest of the property owner. He has a right to use his property as he sees fit. And if you tell him he can't use it, then it can be a unlawful taking, violation of his Fourth Amendment rights. Um, on the other hand, the city, has what they call police power, which is the authority to regulate for the life, safety, uh, uh, benefit of the community. Um, the city of Clarksburg does this when it demolishes houses. It uses its police power. Um, but these things have to be held in tension, and there has to be a way of deciding how we go about things. And so this is what the court decided, was that basically, if you have a factory and there's houses next to it, the city can't tell you just to shut your factory down, because that would be an unlawful taking. But if they pass zoning and they create zoning, then over time, if your land, you tear the factory down and it sits a number of years, it loses its industrial zoning, or potentially loses its industrial zoning, and could be rezoned at that point if there's a democratic process um, to do it. The will of the community has to be expressed through what we have as a comprehensive plan, which is generally drawn up by the Planning and Zoning Commission. And there's public hearings on this, surveys, meetings with business owners, stakeholders, uh, all kinds of things to get public input and say, what do we want our community to look like? Where do we want people to live? Where do we want office parks? Where do we want industry? Where do we want this or that? And you plan your city out, and it has to be approved by the elected legislative body, like a city council, whatever. But once that's done, it's the standard. And the a county commission or city council just can't come in and change the rules on the fly. They can't call an audible and say, oh yeah, that's zoned residential, but we're going to let you to put storage units in there. We're going to let you, um, put a factory in there. It doesn't work like that. And that's why it's very important to follow a democratic process and not have plans being drawn up by committees that we don't even know who's on it. They didn't keep minutes, they don't have bylaws. So if you start doing stuff like that, then you get into serious legal trouble. I was not trying to stop these committees when I asked for the minutes. Um, I don't regret doing it. I think it was a good thing. I'll holler at you later.